No, it's not a Netflix movie. But welcome to my FYP1 self-reflection. Hi everyone, hi Dr. Chong. My name is Alisa from Best 21 and let me tell you a story about this very exciting final year project about BSFL as sustainable alternative protein. So it was a little bit unexpected that time during the first week that we unaccidentally sitting in a form of groups already. That time I was together with Wesley, Jiatao, Abdur, and Daniel. And even though all this time we have classes together, actually I didn't really know them as a person. So to be honest, I don't really have any expectation. But I was excited to work as a group in this team. So other than that, the topic itself is also unexpected, which is black spot fly. But at the same time, I'm also like very excited because it has a lot of potentials to be explored. Maybe it's the future of food, we never know. But the one thing that I question is why cold cuts, because I'm personally not a big fan of cold cuts, but let's see. So this is when the class time we use it for collecting survey throughout the university. So we go in pair. I go with West because I don't have any tabs, and it was like quite frustrating at the first time because we need to collect like around 200 and we managed to only get 70, but it's okay. I think that time it was quite funny and I think it was a good combo between me and Wes because it's the first time like I'm not a shy person, but I know Wes is a bit shy to ask new people, so I was like hello and excuse me, and I approach people, then I pass it to Wes since he has a better English and can communicate better. So yeah. During that week, actually, I went on a holiday to Bali and Australia with my family. Although it wasn't really a holiday because I still do assignments just with a different scenery. But that time, I really learned time and task management effectively. And actually, that week we have a problem, which is communication problem. There was miscommunication, and that time I thought there was a meeting, but I don't think it's cancelled, and it was the task management wasn't really going well. So that time Friday we got class presentation, and Thursday night I just went back from Australia. It was like a 7 hour flight, and everyone says Daniel and Wes are handling the charts, so I asked. So it turns out it's only Daniel, but I saw like at the 12 until 12 a.m. there is still no work. So I panicked and I'm a bit pissed off because I feel like you could have asked earlier if you cannot do it, if you don't have to do it. So like that night I slept around 3 a.m. with no work done because I actually don't know how to do the charts and I'm not even familiar with Excel. So I say to Daniel, so like I wake up earlier, like around 5 or 6, and I just do the PowerPoint in the morning before the class conducted. So, but in the end, we still managed to finish the presentation and we can still present. So I feel that time I learned about communication, how to actually ask how your friend's doing and also ask how anyone needs help. And from that time I always remind in the group, especially reminding Daniel because he's very last minute, and also be tolerant and also say in advance, maybe talk if you need help. On the domain 2, the consumer study with the focus group. That time we decided to have 4 focus group with 2 hosts each focus group, and we decided to taking turns so everyone can actually experience it. Actually, the first focus group I didn't really satisfied with it because there was not enough engagement and more like interview. And then Dr. Chong gave us some advice to have more engagement, more chemistry between the hosts and the interviewees. And then for the next 3 focus group, I feel like we're improving a lot, and yeah, I think the interviewees also had fun. We had fun since we always give them with food at the end. So that time I learned how to be a host, and I learned how to be calm and I'll just go with the flow, and how to make people comfortable by to expressing their idea. And then lastly, focus on the progress, not the perfection. So I feel even better if I could ask more, since I tend a bit shy being a host at the first time. So yeah, I feel like there's still many questions can be asked, but we get very rushed into the next question. So yeah, the main issue in this domain is the transcription, which is a lot. And I also learned like resilience and also time management. And thankfully, I started early in this domain, in this transcription, so I can sleep. And also I finished early, so I helped Daniel with his transcription. And yeah, next, domain 3, which is ideation, which is my favorite domain actually. That time Dr. Chong also conducted a workshop, which was very fun, and I really enjoyed it, and it kind of impacted my way of thinking, since she mentioned a lot about what is the reason behind, and also things outside of the box a lot. And actually, for our discussion in this domain, it went pretty well. A lot of ideas came out, and we really contributed to each of the idea. But the thing is, comparing to the other group, they seem like well prepared compared to us, because we only present using documents. And I also, for three of our idea, which is 2 of mine and 1 West, we use mood board, but the rest we use the docs, so which is not really presentable and it's not effective. And actually that time I asked them to use mood board as well, but I didn't really explain why. Yeah, I learned like I should have tell them like why, and I should have forced them to use mood board. But yeah, it happened. So yeah, again, communication. Then from 10 we choose to 3 alpha concepts, which is quite hard for us, but since we have a lot of similar ideas, so we just combine. And that time we presented using PowerPoint, so mission accomplished already. So but the problem is we had a problem with the flow, since since the audience they don't really get the flow. But yeah, we should have think of that more. And yeah, next, domain 4, which is feasibility. I feel like this feasibility study is very smart approach in innovating a product, so can minimize the risk and calculate the success rate. But I also feel this domain is a very stressful one. We have many things to do, and there's a lot of revisions, since we have a lot of misunderstanding between the assignments, also between each other. But I feel even though it is stressful and have a lot of workload, I can even learn to manage my time even better. I maximize every time that I get effectively. I even actually this week I went to Philippines, and I also did the assignments in the plane, since it's the time that I got. So but I was very grateful because I started early, and so I don't really have much thing to do. And this domain, I learned how to critical thinking, how to do research skill. And yeah, I feel like this could be a good skill in the future as a food R&D. The last domain, which is acceptance study. So this domain, we ask people about their opinion and acceptance regarding our product. We should have 4, but 1 is cancelled because we don't have time again to search for the other, so we decided to go with that 3, even though the interview might not be as suitable as we think it would be. At this domain, I realized we started a bit late, and also we didn't plan quite well. I feel next time we should have implemented a good planning first and started early. And also management skill is very important, and especially it's very important in the work life, being a food R&D. Also, in this domain, the other thing that I learned is relationship and also connection with people is very important, as Dr. Chong helped us to find a BS culinology alumni, which is very helpful, but unfortunately he cannot come. But yeah, with connection we can gain insights and also opinions and anything else. And this was our last presentation, and actually I feel it was just okay. I feel the unique point of our group is we use like a fun approach other than the other group, which is using like more formal. So actually I was initiating this idea of using the sportwear, and I didn't get accepted at first, but I tried to communicate, and also Wes also helped me to explain until everybody was understand and actually agreeing. And yeah, we made the PowerPoint, and to be honest we didn't do dry run, and I wasn't quite satisfied with it. I feel it was only okay, but we can improve. There's a lot of things to improve, and I personally I feel presentation is really important for me to determine the success rate of the product, and the way of pitching matters, as it is will attract the investor. And that time I feel we have the point, but we didn't deliver it on point. So I feel in next, if I can improve my teamwork, improve my communication skill, improve my management skill, and also my confidence, our presentation could went better, and also our overall performance can also be improved. Yeah. After all 5 domains, I realized my problem is in confidence and communication. While confidence, I actually spent 2 years already living overseas, but I still cannot speak English comfortably. I think the problem might lay not in my English skill, but actually in my confidence. And actually, I realized that I'm not that confident in other kind of fields other than English. So yeah, and the other thing is communication. So why? Actually, things get messed up in my mind if the flow is not organized. So I cannot speak clearly and organizedly, and I need to find a way to deal with it by maybe setting a good flow and slowly communicate and expressing my idea. Because I feel in every domain my communication is always been the problem. Other than that, I also realized that my interest lays towards into marketing and business rather than culinary and science. Sorry, Dr. Chong. I actually noticed since the 3rd domain, if I'm not mistaken, the ideation, since I focus more on how it can be branded and marketed, and how actually it can be penetrated and how profitable it can be, instead of focusing on food innovation or flavor itself. But actually, I didn't regret learning culinology because it gave me a big picture of how research and development works and how food business may innovate in the future. And actually, I think food R&D can actually be my starting point for my future business career. Overall, this FYP had been a meaningful learning process personally for me. I've been waiting since the first semester, and it really went as what I expected, even better. I have fun, I exposed to something new, stressful as well, but in the end, I learned. I really hope I can bond like this or even better with my groupmates and do FYP2 in a fun way and actually learn something new. I feel like how hard our work can get if we're doing it with friends and doing it passionately with the eagerness to learn. It will be fun and memorable. Thank you, Dr. Chong, for the learning process and being such a nice lecturer. See you FYP2.
Coba mendekatimu, mendekati indahnya dirimu.